Hello guys, welcome back to the channel where, don't be fooled, it is still a Steelers Friday. However, because they are on a bye and because it's hockey season, I figured I'd wrap the Penguins this week. And since we don't have a game to talk about, I'm just going to go through basically just a brief, just take a brief look at what the Steelers have done so far this season and, my hopes and expectations for what's going to come after the bye week. So just really a couple of numbers. I think, you can go into any sort of numbers. I don't want to break down individual players and who's done well and who's struggling and everything, because you can really sort of sum up the whole season with just, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, with 5 stats, essentially. And we'll just jump straight into it. 31 points, a minus 31 points differential off the fact that we've only scored 79 points all season. Now, when you consider how much the defense and special teams has helped, with a couple of pick sixes and fumble recoveries and the special teams, the Miles Killebrew safety against the Ravens. It was always that just sort of demonstrates just how bad the season has been in terms of points. 5 passing touchdowns, 0 rushing touchdowns, which when you consider how well we were running the ball towards the end of last season, with an offensive line that really did improve, it just kind of shows you that we have, you can make the argument we've taken a step back in that department, which when you consider the moves we made, especially bringing in Isaac Seumalo and drafting Broderick Jones, you'd think that this team would be better. But again, just on those statistics and, with the trouble that Kenny Pickett has sometimes managed to get himself into and, the pressure situation, it clearly has not. But again, hopefully that's all going to be fixed. We'll be touching on that later. So that's the offensive struggles. Again, we don't really need to talk about. I don't want to get into a Kenny Pickett debate for, again, reasons we're going to get onto. But let's move on to the defensive side of the ball, where again you can sum it up in two statistics: 11 turnovers forced, which is the joint second in the NFL, and 17 sacks, which is joint third, which kind of tells you all you need to know about how much this defense is keeping us in games, and goes back to what happened last season. It shows you just how crucial TJ Watt is to this team, because there is no pressure up front. There are no turnovers. There are no sacks without TJ Watt in the team. And whilst we have had a great leap forward from the likes of Alex Highsmith, who has clearly shown that he is worth every single penny of the new contract he got given. To an extent that if TJ Watt is out for a game or for a series, I would pick Alex Highsmith to be able to pick up the dirty work, as it were, that TJ Watt does, and keep the defense. I mean, the run defense still needs a lot of work, but I think, as we showed against the Ravens, it has gotten a little bit better. And that kind of takes me on to the sort of the wrap-up points, the points I'm going to talk about, and just sort of touch on what needs to be done going forward. The first one is really that if you look at the schedule that we had, starting off with the 49ers, 2 games in division, 3, against the 49ers and 2 games in division, 3 of our 5 games were against teams that I think anyone can expect to be very good. 49ers are what they thought we were. The Ravens were always going to be tough, and they were. The Browns were probably better than what most people thought. The Texans are better than what most people thought. So we've had a very tough schedule. And if you look at what the schedule is after the turn, after the bye week, it does get a little bit better in terms of, again, on paper, I don't want to make the same mistakes we did against Houston Texans, but on paper, it looks a little bit more possible for us to pick up a couple of wins. And that's sort of where I want to circle. If you go back to what happened last season and the bye week, we saw that there was a lot of improvement, particularly from Kenny Pickett, now that he had the chance to work with the first team for a week, get a solid work in. That is where I'm sort of hoping that we have shown that we are capable of doing some good things this season. And again, if the schedule does turn out to be worked out in our favour for most of the part, I do believe that this team, so long as there are the necessary improvements on offense and in some areas of the defense as well, I don't think it is impossible that we get to double-digit wins, which should be able to sneak us into the playoffs. But we have this bye week. I also want to touch on the injuries as well. How badly the injuries have impacted us. 5 or 6 starters going down. Even punter, Presley Harvin, how crucial he's been. He's injured, so injuries are certainly hurting us. And hopefully that's something that can be rectified, and just give us a little bit of a breather during the bye week. to get things up to speed, and again make that progress. That again, if we can make the same progress that we did last year during the bye week with this team, I don't think it is unreasonable for us to expect a double-digit set of wins, which should, again, as I say, hopefully get us into the playoffs. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like and subscribe and comment below, and reach out to me on any of my social media platforms. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the Steelers so far.